There's a huge range of different types of cymbals out there, ranging from super budget to super expensive. But which one's the right one for you? Well, today in this episode, we're going to be talking about the differences between budget and pro cymbals. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. If anyone that's new here, my name's Owen Ellick, and on this channel I do everything drum related. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, I hope to earn your subscription today. So first off, let's get the obvious out of the way. There are some cymbals that cost basically next to nothing, others that cost an absolute fortune, almost the same as an entire drum kit. So keeping your budget in mind throughout this whole process is going to be very important. That being said, the healthier your budget is, the more expensive ones that you can buy, and therefore the better quality ones that you can buy. As you might expect, the cheaper cymbals are typically made with cheaper metals, and the process of actually making them isn't anywhere near as in-depth. This is so that the company that's making them can keep costs down, produce more of them, and then produce more profit. If you're just starting out, going for the cheaper options might be the best way forward just at the moment, because you're not going to have to spend huge amounts of money if you don't take to the drums, but also you have the option then of upgrading at a later date. I myself, about 15 years ago, started off with a set of, I think it was a mixture of Paste 101s and PST3s. At the time I thought they sounded great, they did exactly what I wanted them to, and most of the time I was just practicing in my room. They weren't particularly that loud, so I was able to use them in the house when I was practicing, but then also they were loud enough to use them at gigs. From there I upgraded to Sabian AAXs. They were much louder and far more sustained and far more resonant. And then of course, as you guys know from the inception of this entire channel, I upgraded then to Amedia cymbals. So let's put this into context. You're going to hear some examples of the cheaper budget cymbals and then the higher end Amedia cymbals. For this video, for the budget cymbals, I've actually gone for a mixture of Paste 101s for the hats, and then the two crashes and rides are PST3s. Now from that example, you can definitely tell that the budget cymbals sound a lot thinner, not nearly as full, nowhere near as resonant. This is to be expected, of course, because again, they're made with very different metals and a very different process when it comes to actually making the cymbals. Now we're going to hear an example of both sets of cymbals being hit individually. Again, same as before, you can definitely tell that the budget cymbals aren't quite up to the same standard. That being said, I have recorded Pace 101s, PST3s, and even if you were to go for something like the Zildjian ZBTs or ZXTs in a studio before, and they sound great. As long as you process them correctly, they can sound good enough to be on a record. As I mentioned at the start of this video, the price point between the two can be very, very different. So here's an example of what a set of, say, PST3s would cost, and here's what a set of regular Amedias would cost. As you can tell, that is a considerable difference. However, if you're able to save up a little bit extra money and go for the more expensive ones, I would suggest that, because that then would be future-proofing. With the cheaper cymbals, typically they don't last anywhere near as long. Again, the craftsmanship that's gone into them isn't anywhere near as good. For example, you can spend a couple of £100 on some cheaper cymbals, but you may need to swap them out again in 2 or 3 years' time. Whereas with the expensive ones, if you spent the money in the beginning, you might get 5 years out of them, 6 years out of them, or even more, provided that you look after them. So essentially all of this comes down to your preferences, your budget, and the sound that you're trying to achieve. So I'm going to close out this video with another example so you guys can hear this in context again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys have got something out of it. If you have, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about these cymbals in the comment sections below. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.